Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. As you can see below's title, this video is going to be how to become a remote online notary in 2026. How to start the business. Where do you get started? This video is going to go over 5 steps in reference to what you need to know about becoming a remote online notary in 2026 and starting the business. Now, if you're coming to my channel and you're anything like me, where you have no idea where to start with becoming a remote online notary, this is going to be the video for you. So welcome back to the channel. In this video, I want to go over the steps. I want to be able to give you the information that I didn't have when I first decided that I wanted to become a remote online notary. So here you are in 2026, ready to embark on this new journey. And you've gone to the necessary steps through your state to become a remote online notary, or maybe you haven't. However, I'm going to go ahead and speak with you in reference to the next steps that you need to take in order to be able to become a remote online notary. So let's start with what RON is, or becoming a remote online notary. A remote notary is a notary that is allowed to conduct closings in the digital space, which means that you can sit from the comfort of your home and actually conduct a remote online closing for a seller, for a buyer, or for anyone that is interested in have a document notarized from a different location. So how do you get started with becoming a remote online notary? Well, first off, you need to go to your Secretary of State in order to be able to see if your state even allows for you to conduct remote online notarizations. Some states have certain requirements, certain training, certain applications that you have to fill out in order to become a remote online notary. So start with your Secretary of State in the state that you're living in, look up remote online notarization through your Secretary of State and see whether or not you are able to become a remote notary. Your Secretary of State should be able to walk you through all of the necessary steps to begin to get your notary license for remote notarizations. Now, let's be clear. In majority of the states, you are going to have to be a traditional notary in order to become a remote notary. So if you have not as of yet got your traditional notary, then you will need to get that in addition to becoming a remote online notary. Second, you need to be able to know exactly the technology that you need in order to become a remote online notary. Of course, you're going to need a computer. You're going to need a computer that has a webcam, that has the ability to have audio and video. And it's going to have the latest software on it, because you are going to have to be able to know how to be able to sit in front of someone to be compliant in order to be able to actually conduct the remote online notarization. You also need to know the training that is necessary in order to be able to become a remote online notary. Now, let's say, for instance, you have gone through your Secretary of State, and now, where do I go? I've gotten the license, I've become a remote notary through my state, but what do I need to know? How do I get the training? How do I even know what platforms to start with? Where there's a few different platforms like Notarize or Blue Notary. All of these platforms are platforms that if they are approved in your state, you are able to get on and begin to conduct remote online notarizations. But let's also talk about the compliance of becoming a remote online notary. There's so many different areas that you need to be compliant in. What do you need to let your clients know once it's time to do a remote online notarization? How do you prepare them for that? What information do they need to bring in order to be a remote online notary? These are things that you need to be able to have information on in reference to being able to get started as a remote notary. And then the last step, step 5, is actually starting the business. Once you've gone through all the steps, once you know what a remote notary is, once you've gone through your state, once you've gotten proper training and know the compliance, Now you can start a business. This is an actual business where you'll be able to go and market to title companies, to lawyers, to escrow officers, to realtors, in order to be able to say, now I can conduct remote online notarizations. But where do I start? How do I get the clients in order to be able to start the business? Well, feel free to always come back to my channel. I also have a link below because I teach you everything that you need to know about how to become a remote online notary as well. What platforms you need to be compliant with. And not only what platforms, but whether or not your clients, underwriters and different approvals are okay for those certain platforms. There's a lot of information that is needed and required to become a remote online notary. So please come back to the channel, like and subscribe to this video. There'll be plenty of content that I'll be happy to walk you through the remote online notary journey. Thank you so much, and you guys, happy signings.